Hello everyone, this is Anish here. Hope you and your family are all well and safe. Today I'm here with another interesting tutorial on Python data analytics. We'll be using Pandas, Matplotlib and FPDF libraries for analyzing the trends of 3 stocks for the last 1 year. The stocks we have selected for today's tutorial is Yes Bank, Tata Motors and Tata Steel. The result of this analysis will be shared as a PDF report. So let's see how we can analyze the trend, plot the graph and export it as a PDF report in this tutorial. So I have copied here the CSV files corresponding to Yes Bank, Tata Steel and Tata Motors, which I have downloaded from Yahoo Finance. So it looks something like this. It has got date, open, high, low, close, adjusted close and volume. So these are the files which we will be using for our analysis. As a first step, let's load the libraries. So I just copied the needed libraries. So we'll be using FPDF, Pandas and Matplotlib. Right now let's load the data files. pd.read.csv, yes bank.csv. Okay. Tata Motors TF. Let us verify. As you can see, the data file is properly loaded. We can see 249 rows and 7 columns, right? Similarly, the others also are loaded. But one thing that we noticed is we can't see the entire set of columns here. Some are masked. So in order to see or display the entire columns without anything getting hidden, we need to add another line of code here. It is pd.set option here. Display max columns, display dot max underscore columns, column. Let's try now. Now we can see the entire columns without any issue. If you look at the data frame closely, we can see Pandas has provided some default index rather than what we have here, right? 0, 1, 2 like that. So now let's change the data frames index with our own index, which is date. In order to do that, we can add an attribute here, okay, column 0. So by doing this thing, we are telling Pandas that we want to use the 0th index column, that is the first column, as the index. So let us see how it works. We can still see 249 rows, but here if you see, the date is now the index. So it is, the rows are aligned based on the date, and open, high, low, close, adjusted close and volume became the columns. Good. Now we have the data frames ready. That means the data is ready for further analysis. First, let us do the price change analysis, and we can take Yes Bank as the first sample. So plot what are we going to do? Maybe data frame, from that close price. Now we need to add a label equals Yes Bank, right? And we need to give a title, plot.title. Let's call it price change. Okay. Now let's try to draw it. Sure. Let's see. Yeah, we can see the prices plotted against time, but there are lot many issues here. Many things are getting overlapped, right? And we need to modify all these things. So how we can modify? We will look into it. Let us do similar stuffs for rest of the data set. So I'm just copying. Okay, this one is TM, TS, and label Tata Motors, Tata Steel. Earlier we haven't seen that label, though we have added here because we haven't called the legend. So we will be doing that part as well. Legend. Okay, now let's try it one more time. Now you can see it is plotted somewhat neat. We can see Yes Bank, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, separate legends, and we can see the price changes going from somewhere around 300 or 200, yeah, 279 onwards. You can see in the bottom right corner, right? So our first graph is ready. Still we have a lot more to do, and one more thing we need to do from the data frame is converting the dates which is currently in string format to actual dates. So parse dates, date. Okay, let us add okay. Time. Now by doing that we can see now the x-axis is neat. It has corrected properly without overlapping and any other thing. So we are ready with the first chart. Now let's convert this thing into a method. Def plot price change, and add file name here. Okay, I'll explain why I added that file name later. So, and here let's make a small modification since we are doing it in Indian rupees, and copying this entire stuff, pasting it 4 times because we'll be doing similar thing for volume, and then price percentage and volume percentage. And here we need to change it to volume, change, let's do it in crore, and this thing is again price. This is price change percentage, this is volume change percentage, okay. Now let's convert this volume into crores, means divided by 10 to the power of 7. Okay. And now we need to change the price percentage. So divided by FPDF of close dot ilog 0 into 100 to 100 minus 100. Okay, so this should do the trick. Okay, and volume also similar way. So it will be volume, okay, and here it will be this one. Let's copy this. Some more changes we need to do. This should be TM, TS similarly here. TM, TS. Now let's call these methods. So plot price change. Let's call the file name price. Plot price percentage change. Let's call p price. Plot volume change. Let's call volume. Plot volume percentage change and p value. And let's run this. Okay, first price change INR, you can see that. Next is price change in percentage, you can see that thing, 300, good. Now volume change in crores, 100 crores, and like that. and then volume change in percentage. So we are good. Now let us add the y label, plot dot y label, percentage change. You can use this thing for price as well. Okay. And here volume change. Volume in crore. Price in INR. So we have added the Y labels. Now let us add a method for exporting the graph into a picture. Here let's take this plot legend. It's common stuff. Plot dot save fig. And plot dot close. So now we have a thing. From here we need to call export filter, file name, so now we have, let us try it out. We can see 4 PNGs created here. Yeah, P price PNG, price PNG, volume change PNG, and volume PNG. So we have all our pictures properly created. Now let's create the PDF file and add these pictures. For creating PDF, we will be using FPDF. So PDF equals FPDF. FPDF by default uses A4 size with the portrait orientation. So we will be creating two constants, width 210 and height 297. This is A4 size. First we need to add a page, pdf.add page. After adding the page, now we can add the image, pdf.image, price.png, 5 millimeters from the left side as a margin, 20 millimeters from the top, then the right side width by 2 minus 5 is fill. You need to play around with these numbers. I just played around and figured out this works well for my setting currently. Okay, and this one will be width divided by 2 So I'll copy here. Okay, and this will be 90, and this is pprice.png, this is volume.png, and this is pvolume.png. And now we need to output these things into a PDF file. pdf.output analysis.pdf, and we need to pass in F. Let's try it. Okay, the program completed, and we can see the PDF created, and we can see the PDF is having the 4 graphs which we have created. Now this looks a bit bland. Let us modify this PDF to make it a bit professional. First, let us add a facing page. For that, pdf.add page. This is our first page. pdf.image to look somewhat like a letterhead. So for that, I'm adding a image called back1. It will be from top left corner and filling it completely. So that is added, and let me add a text also, and set text color. I'll make it green, and pdf.cell. Using pdf.cell function, I am writing a text at this location. Call it trend analysis, and let me align it to center aligned. So C. And now I would like to change the font with something different. Normally it is Arial or something like that, but I want to change it into some funky font. Since that font won't be there by default, I'm just adding it. Orbitron, bold, and the path, and it's a true type font, so we'll call it true. And now please call this font set font, Orbitron, B with 32 points. Let us see how it is looking. Okay, it's complete now. Yeah, you can see my image added there as a facing page, and you can see the font coming neatly. Now let's change the font of this price change, volume change, and this Y label, and let's add a X label also. For For that, I'm creating two dictionaries. I copied it because I don't want to write this entire thing. Now what we'll be doing is, here in this label, font dict is equal to this font access. So what are we doing here? Font access is Arbitron with blue color 10 size, and normal font here Arbitron green heavy 16 points. So I'm just updating all the labels. So we have added the labels properly. Now the title we need to change with font. So all the titles are changing like this. Okay, and I'm also planning to add the back image to the second page as well. So I can just copy this one, paste it here. Since the header section is a bit bigger, I want to change it a bit more bigger, so I'll make it 50. And this is say 140. You can play around with these numbers. Now we need to add the X label. So plot dot X label date font dict is equal to font. It is this should be font access. Yeah, and rerunning it. Now let's see. Yes, now everything looks the way we wanted. So the report is ready, which we can share with anyone who is interested. And if you look at, by looking at the price change alone, we may think that Tata Steel is doing much better than Tata Motors, but in reality, in percentage terms, if you look at, Tata Motors is way better than Tata Steel. So percentage wise, it has given, say, from within 1 year, from 0% to it has gone up to around 370%, when Tata Motors is still Tata Steel is still around 250, but it is definitely looking like an uptrend, and this looks like a correction to me, and it may go up further. Anyway, that's how we do the analysis. Hope this video is helpful and if you like, please share and subscribe, and until next time, thank you very much.